Oh, yes. Gotta put on my lipstick. Are we ready? Are we ready, my friends? I haven't been live in quite some time. So, hi, everyone. I've been all consumed. I've been all consumed with our renovation of our dream house. Oh my gosh. So, some of you who have been with me for quite some time know that my husband and I have been manifesting what we call the rainbow house, the dream house for really 4 years. I mean, I would say that we started to actually believe it was possible in the summer of 2019. So that was 3 years ago. So 3 years ago, we started to believe that we could actually buy a house, a house. Before the summer of 2019, we never thought we would be able to afford to buy a house. So just understand as we enter into this conversation about the 3 stages of manifesting an impossible goal or a big dream or vision, understand I know this intimately. I know this process intimately from going from 3 years ago to not believing we would ever buy a house and we'd be in this rental that I'm sitting in right now for many more decades of our lives to having bought an almost $2 million dream house in with a view of the San Francisco Bay, my friends, and 1.7 acres, which if you know anything about Bay Area real estate, you realize is freaking bonkers, totally bonkers. So that is the what I'm bringing to this transmission today. And today, tell me if you're here. I can see some people are joining. Welcome, my friends, everyone. My name is Kiki Lovelace. For those of you who don't know me, I am a leadership and success mentor to my 6 and 7 figure plus business owner and CEO clients. I call them the impossible dream achievers. My people are visionaries. They have very big dreams and big ideas for their life, for their communities, for how they can be of service, for our people, for our planet. And my people are often very intuitive and kind of oriented towards the spiritual just like I am, like we can speak the same language of like spirit, universe, our guides, all that stuff. Um but my people are also action takers. They also like really want 3D reality results. So that is what we're about to talk about. So welcome everyone. I'm so glad you're here. Okay, today, our very short topic of conversation is the 3 stages of manifesting a really big vision or goal. So if you're watching this live or on the recording, I want you to put it right now in the comments. What is the big vision or goal that you are working towards right now? If it's a dollar amount, I know there's so many business owners and entrepreneurs in my audience. Write it down. Like I'm going for 10K months, or I'm going for 100K months, or I'm going for 300K months, whatever. Just write it down in the comments. Or if you want to buy a property, or if you want to change your schedule so that you're no longer working 40 hours a week, but now you're working 20 hours a week. Like, what is your big impossible dream? Put it in the comments right now. The 3 stages you will probably recognize, my friends, because you'll realize you've probably been in all of them at some point or another. The 3 stages are believing that it's possible. You'll move in and out of that one day by day, and you'll probably hang out in that stage for quite some time because that's the hardest stage, is believing that your impossible dream is actually possible. So stage 1 is believing. Stage 2 can happen in an instant. And I'll tell you how to move through these stages more quickly in a moment. But stage 2 is deciding, just no longer being available for any other option. Like, this is what's happening. There is no other option. And then the final stage is the knowing. The knowing is a very fun stage, and it's usually just like the deciding stage. It's pretty fast because the knowing is like, oh, this is happening and this is happening in the next day or two, or this is happening in the next week or two, or this is happening in the next month. But it's like a body knowing inside that it's on. It's already done. So how in the heck do you move through these stages? The real key to move through these stages more skillfully so that you don't lose hope, you don't give up too soon, and so that you can continue on through the inevitable setbacks, which of which there will be many when you are manifesting a big impossible dream. The real key is to take small actions. And ideally, these are in intuition led aligned actions. So actions that aren't necessarily like about working 80 hours a week like I used to do, because if you can manifest like a business income goal by working 80 hours, but really what you're manifesting is more work. So that's probably not the way you want to do it. So the key is for you to take small into intuition led aligned action, just like, oh, my intuition is telling me to make this phone call. Okay, I have no idea why. I don't understand it. It seems kind of random. I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to follow instructions. So it's like day by day, you're asking your intuition, okay, what's next? Because you're focused on this goal, super focused on it, very aware that like the all the information is here for you. And it's just a matter of you getting quiet, listening. Sometimes intuition shows up in the form of like a voice in your head when you're in the shower or when you're on a walk. Other times it shows up as like a Facebook ad, or it shows up as like, you're talking to somebody, like a friend or a colleague, and they just say this one sentence. You're like, oh, that's what I needed to hear. Thank you so much. That's perfect. So intuition can show up. Sometimes intuition can show up in the form of like a hummingbird that comes into your field while you're outside in the garden, or like a flock of crows, like what happened to me. I was having this one thought, and then this like four crows just like came into my field and were like all making all their cawing noises right around my head. I was like, okay, thank you, got it. That's the right direction for me to go. Clear. So yes, it's about listening into your intuition and then following the instructions that your intuition makes. And here's what I'm going to leave you with. This is why. Thank you, Sylvia. You're so sweet. So this is why. So every small little action that you take in the direction of your big impossible dream helps you cement the belief that it's possible, helps you get more and more into that moment of deciding, oh, there's no other option. This is what's happening. And then helps you move into that space of the knowing where it's actually going to happen. And I'll give you one example. Like when my husband and I, for a year and a half during the pandemic, we're looking for this dream house. We were in the pandemic, we put our masks on our kids and like go out and see all these houses. And, it was crazy. It was a crazy time to be looking for a house. And as you all know, like the real estate markets are absolutely bonkers. And there came a time we had put some offers down on various houses, whether or not we should have, whatever, but like we had made a lot of steps towards getting our dream house. And at a certain point, we just looked at each other and we were like, okay, there is no other option. Like we have the list, it's on the fridge. We've been staring at this list. We have said no to a lot of things that were almost the list, but not quite the list. And like now we're just committing to it. It's like it's either the dream house or bust. There is no other option. That was the moment we shifted from believing into deciding. And actually, very quickly after that, things started to shift, and we lost our funding. We had so many setbacks, my friends. We lost our mortgage. They wanted to give us 200K less. We were like, no, we need all the money that we can throw at this. I randomly was talking to my real estate agent. She was like, oh, call this person. I called that person. Within 24 hours, we had exactly the funding we wanted. Somehow he moved it all the way through in like 3 weeks. It was the easiest thing in the whole wide world. So after we went from the deciding, very quickly, we found a house. We put an offer down. There was like a little bit of a scramble. We got our loan approved and we had the fastest escrow of all time. At a certain point in that escrow, we went into the knowing because we actually really didn't know that it was for sure going to happen because there were so many funny things going on with our mortgage at that time. But we were just taking steps, providing documentation, just responding, breathing, praying. And at a certain point, it turned into the knowing, oh, this is happening. This is totally happening. Yes, it was so powerful. It was so very powerful. So it's about taking action. And I will tell you one more piece. I keep saying one more piece, but there's so many pieces to share with you. Is that every time you take a small action towards your big vision or toward your dream, it changes you. You become a different version of yourself. So it's not just the outcome that you're playing for here. It's that you're playing for becoming a different version of yourself, a version of yourself that can actually hold the impossible dream, that can complete the impossible dream, that can have the impossible dream. And that is powerful, that transformation. So those small actions really do matter. Yes. Write in the comments if you've already written what your big impossible dream is. Write what is your next inspired action? What's the thing you know is the right thing? Even if you're scared, even if it doesn't make sense, even if it seems illogical, write it in the comments. What is the next step for you? Because that's actually all you need to know today. So these are the kinds of conversations that we are going to have, my friends, in my Manifest program, which is coming in August. And I have bundled up Manifest with two of my other live programs. I've got the Time Magician Method, which is coming up starting in just a couple weeks on June 13th, as well as Intuition for Sustainable Business Growth, which is in September. And I've bundled them for you. It's called the Magic Bundle. I'm going to put the links to the payment options below. I have a payment plan option that is $500 a month for 4 months for all three of these programs. And you'll get the live program, as well as there's actually a bonus group coaching call I'm throwing in for the Time Magician Method. And then you'll also get the recordings for 30 days afterwards. So it's $1888 for the pay in full option, or $500 a month for 4 months if you prefer to pay as you go. I hope you'll join me this summer and early fall for the Magic Bundle. We're going to have such a great time. I love teaching metaphysical principles and practices in a super actionable, relatable, tangible way that you can actually put into play in your real life. Because to me, that is such a turn on, is like, I don't like for my visions and dreams just to stay in the vision and dream zone for like too long. It's like there comes a time where it's time to take action and do the damn thing. And that's what I help my impossible dream achievers do in my programs. And that's what I'm going to help you with as well. So I'll put those links in the comments below. Thanks for joining, everybody, and I'll talk to you real soon.